Yo, Custis Blue here with another the Custis Blue Yapcast with Custis Blue. What? The Yapcast. The Custis Blue Yapcast. The Custis Blue Yapcast. And we're going to go right into it because I'm going to try to learn to go right into it, which is there's multiple topics today. The first one's going to be on communication. Well, really the only topic was going to be about how I think very intelligent people can end up being more sad / depressed. But I have this other thing that I want to talk about, which is communication and how important it is for yourself and other people, and particularly in friendships, relationships, family relationships, all different types of relationships. So I want to go into the communication one first because I'm feeling like I need to communicate. Why did this go about? Well, I'm a big advocate for communication, and when things, for me, it's hard when things change. I think that's for a lot of people because I like to think that I have control. So here's one thing. I have, my jiu-jitsu, I have my streaming, I have my social media, I have my coaching of soccer, and I have my mixing and mastering degree that I'm getting / my internship. Now for me, I can check all those boxes that I'm doing those things, and it feels great. It feels great for me. But the second that I feel like I don't have control, if I add a new thing, let's say family relationships, friendship, or new relationship, if I add one of those things, then I'm now giving myself up to not having, control. Or it feels like I don't have control. So, because you can't control relationships, But, so what happens for me is when I have a certain type of relationship, let's say where I am talking to someone on the regular, or I have plans or whatever. This isn't for everyone or whatever. When something changes, randomly where I couldn't predict it, then I lose a sense of control, and it really gives me bad anxiety. Now, how is this solved? Well, communication. Communication solves this problem for me. The issue is not everyone communicates the same way I do. Or communicates as much, or maybe, it doesn't matter. But I think for me, I'm going to prioritize any type of relationship. I'm going to prioritize communication with any type of relationship. Just for example, today my mom said something to me that gave me a lot of anxiety. And instead of not addressing it, I called her and I addressed it. And I gave instant, a good, nice communication with her. And we resolved it. And anxiety gone. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when people where this can show up a lot is with new relationships. Maybe you're making a new friend or a new romantic interest, and you are communicating with them a lot because it's the beginning, and that's kind of how you establish a relationship sometimes, especially today. And then one day, the communication just disappears. Well, for me, it would never happen like that because I would communicate it. So on my end, I would communicate it. On someone else's end, you don't have control. You can't force someone to communicate. And I think that this is when you need to decide, early on, can I, have this type of communication, in my life? Because for me, a big change in a flow causes a lot of anxiety. So how would you communicate that? You'd say, hey, a big change in the flow. I was used to this, and things changed. I'm not trying to change. I'm not trying to, bring up anything or whatever. I'm just saying, what are your thoughts? Have things changed or whatever? That's a great way to communicate. And then you get the answer, and you could take their word for it. And then you can re-communicate, later. Things happen. Anyway, that's just a little hint on, a little side note on communication. I think if you are a person who is avoidant or whatever, then you should just work on just being honest. Being honest and straightforward with your friends, your family, your lovers, from the beginning will even rid you of your anxiety and stress that you have, of not being worried to communicate. If you can just say how you feel and stuff, and the quicker you can say how you feel, the quicker that both parties will be able to either get closer or farther, however it's supposed to be, and decide if y'all are a good fit. And when it comes to your family, it's a little different. If they're not, if you're older and they're not willing to communicate, then you're just gonna have to set way more boundaries, But I think, again, I bring this up so every podcast, setting boundaries is super important. But let's just say you're avoidant and someone, and you're stressed out about something, or future tripping, or worried about where things are going, or worried, that someone is starting to be attached to you, or worried that, I don't know, there's lots of different things, or worried that you can't give, things that you need, then just communicate that. Literally. The person should be able to receive it. The other person should be able to receive it, and vice versa. You can even mention that you have attachment, things, or you're just used to this type of communication and you just don't like, big, transitions, and it would be nice if they communicate to you. And if they say you can't do it, that they can't do it, then they can't. And that's just how it is, and that's how you learn, quickly with things, and you get to move forward. But I'll tell you what, knowing the answer sooner is, how do you get to that point? By communicating. The sooner you know the answer, the better your body can then relax into it. At least for me. Now, I do want to get better at not needing to know the answer and stuff, but I think I would prioritize communication either way. I think it's a nice thing. Anyway, that was my I needed to communicate that, and so I did. That was something I wanted to communicate. Now, the next topic, I'm looking at my phone, is, man, I always blow through this. Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're drinking water. In fact, right now, let's have a water break before we transition. Water. I've been drinking lots of water. Oh my God. Bro, whenever I wear this shirt, it gives me pit stains, bro. Guys, it's hot here in Atlanta. Okay. I'm embarrassed. Okay. So I had this thought earlier, which I have thought about many times in my life, which is I think that the smartest people can be the most depressed because of how well they can craft a story and narrative to keep you where you are. Now, you can insert any other word for, depressed, but our egos are powerful. Our minds are powerful things. And for some people, I think people with ADHD, but also just I don't know, when a flash or OCD or something, I don't know, to be honest, anything so I don't know anything, by the way, guys. I'm just talking out of my ass. But let's just say we craft stories as humans. I am Custis. I'm Blue. I make a podcast. I do this. I make music. I like this. I dislike that. Crafted this whole identity and story. Well, what happens when in that story you craft, well, this happened to me, and I'm very sad, and I'm always sad, and no matter what happens, I always end up being sad. Well, if you're very smart, if your mind is very strong and has the ability to obsess over things like that, then you can create the most elaborate identity around being sad and being depressed. It can be so wound up that it doesn't even seem like a story, because you know what? Your name doesn't seem like a story, but you start crafting this thing where your identity is also sadness. And I think the smarter you are, the thicker the story, the more in depth it goes, because your mind will trick you into feeding that energy of negativity. How do you break out of this? Do things. Occupy your time. Learn something new. Find something not so hard to learn. Don't go to the craziest, hardest thing. Do small things. Start a new practice. You don't have to do, and I don't even mean meditate, because that actually is a hard practice. You can go pretty hard on yourself in meditation. I'm just saying that we all craft these identities around ourselves, and maybe you're so smart you're depressed because your mind has all the energy and time in the world to keep you there. Or maybe this is just my mind creating another story and wanting to call myself smart. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting topic, and I think you should ponder it. I think it goes with victimhood as well. Yes, I'm not trying to invalidate things that have happened to you, but your ability to hold on to these things could be just a sign of your intelligence, your mind's intelligence, your identity, how strong it can be. And why do I say that it's a sign of intelligence? Well, first of all, I want to think that I'm smart. Second of all, what if all that time that you have spent and energy you've spent crafting, obsessing over being down was spent anywhere else? You would be a genius. You would be so talented at the other thing, because that's how much time you've spent. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? You spent so much time. Fuck, I'm using the wrong mic. I'm using the wrong mic again, and I'm sorry. I'm going to keep going because it's just too late. It's too late now. That stinks, though. It's going to have that noise floor that I don't want. But whatever. Who cares? All right. I literally put the mic in front of me, but I kept that mic on. Okay. Anyway. Imagine. You are so smart and you are so good at being sad or being a victim or being depressed. You're so good at it. That's how smart you are, that you can't get out of it. You're stuck in it. You're stuck in it because you're that smart. You're that smart that you can't figure out a way to get out of that hold that your mind and identity have on you. Anything else Flowers. You could have been studying flowers. Maybe. Find a community with them. But what I'm saying is with flowers and flower people. Or whatever. Hell, at this point, I probably could learn how to float with as much as time I've spent thinking about being down. You know what I mean? I could probably be and fucking move shit with my mind at this point. You know what I mean? So yes, I think the most intelligent people, I'm so smart, can be the saddest. And I'm not saying I'm super sad right now. I'm actually doing pretty good this week. I'm just saying, come on now. Think about it. Really, think about it. You are enveloped in that identity. You are. I know there's chemical imbalances, 100%. 100%. I know they're I'm not saying that it's not, I'm not saying that it's your fault or anything like that, but I'm just saying that you are putting the force of the pinnacle of human evolution on being depressed. The tool that has moved us farther in life has made us the apex predator of the earth. That's our ability to think, to plan, to communicate, to say, hey, look, me versus Tiger wins every time. Me with a bunch of people saying, hey, there's a tiger around the corner. There's a tiger around the corner. Don't go around that corner. We survive. Future planning. There's usually a tiger there. Well, what if we want to get rid of the tiger? Guys, we're going to make a trap and some spears, and we're going to ambush that bitch when it ambushes us. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I figured out how to make this tool. I'm going to pass this knowledge down to you, okay? That's our mind. That's our ability to think. Now, because of the time on our hands, social media, all the different things, we have our mind is not worried about the tiger, It's able to think inward, craft stories, create these things, because it's not just about survival anymore, So, I'm just encouraging you, if you don't know what to do to get out of the story. I'm someone who gets stuck in the story many times. I've been here many times in my life. It comes in waves and stuff like that. If you don't know what to do, then just do something. Just do something. Jiu-jitsu, love it. I tell you what, when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'm only there doing jiu-jitsu. It's my happy place right now. Really love it. And it's a great discipline. And it's good for my body. Okay? So, anyway, I just want y'all to just be aware of that. This is something that I've thought about for so much. This is like a concept that, I've been thinking about since I was like 17. Really. Because it's just, when you were younger, have you ever obsessed over anything? Have you ever really, gotten, this interest for something? I'm sure you have. Something. Somewhere. Sometime in your life. Well, for years, that interest might have just turned towards yourself. And not a positive way. So, just be weary. That's really all that I had for the topic today. I don't know if 20 minutes is really enough time. I can, go so far in depth, and, I really do enjoy talking about identity and spirituality and how the mind works. It's something that I've thought about for quite a while. I love it. It's really, I've read the most books about it. I'm not the best at expressing it. I'm not the best at regurgitating what I've learned. But it's just something that I've probably spent most of my life since I was 17 contemplating. And I always find myself coming back to it. Whenever I went on any journeys with substances, It was never to party. I mean, certain ones it was, I guess, but not most of them was for me to go deeper in myself and stuff. So it's just something that I've always been, when I was 18, I used to go onto farmland and try to find things in cow poop. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Them old shroomadooms. I used to, that was me at 17 and 18. I was an astronaut, a psychonaut, as you would say it. So don't know if that explains anything. Haven't done that stuff in a while. Low key, wouldn't mind trying again someday. But that's just who I am, where I am, what I contemplate things. Blue, my whole name, Blue. I went by Blue when I graduated high school and I moved out of Georgia. First thing I did, went by Blue, and I was like, I'm a blank canvas. I'm going to create myself. And came back to Custis. Now Custis or Blue is like my thing, but I feel like I've had this whole journey and I've come back to my roots, and now I'm becoming this beautiful mixture of like what did I like about my roots and what was real about me, and what did I like about this beautiful artistic journey that I was on of crafting Blue, and what are the things that I really have enjoyed about both of those things, and I've put them together and am just becoming me every day. So please take the time to just be, to just be and experience and find what you like and dislike. And at this point, I'm just rambling. And y'all probably heard me talk about this a million times. So, anywho, thanks for being here at the Custis Blue Yapcast. Drop a eyeball heart you, but backwards in the comments. So you, heart, eyeball, if you made it this far. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for being here. I'm proud of you. Maybe if you're in a low place, say, holy shit, I'm so sad. I must be the most smartest person, the most intelligent genius, the most smart, the smartest. Or the most smartest. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something you should be proud of. You're like, I'm so fucking intelligent that I have convinced myself that I'm a sad person. That's how intelligent you are. You brilliant little eyeball heart you. Eyeball heart, don't look at my armpits. You. Drink water.